Hi everybody, welcome back. Alright, so it's still going to be the three of us for now. If we have to add in a fourth at some point in time, we'll take care of it. But why don't we dive back into it, because we just learned that Fink's unicorns had their horns stolen. And our group of people are going to go talk to the unicorn keeper. Fink will give you some information, and basically he will actually send you to the steward. The steward is an older man. He will not give his name. He will to refer to him as the steward, and he will tell you as to where to find the unicorn keeper. The unicorn keeper is still in staff right now. Important to note that you can still find him within the premise. If you need anything else about it, I shall be in the main building.
Head nod.
Yep, head nod. I guess we'll start walking to find the unicorn.
Alright, it will be within the collection area of strange creatures, and you will eventually find a younger man who seems to be working with this area of water, and after a little bit, this what looks to be the top half of a horse, bottom fish will come as he'll sort of be feeding it some things.
Is it a seahorse?
Sure.
God.
I had to do it.
Yes, it was a fine thing to do. Fine.
Is he feeding it fish or apple?
He'll kind of like look to you and he's like, can I help you?
We heard some information about horns going missing.
Oh, I don't know anything about it. I unfortunately was not working when the problems occurred.
Then who watches the unicorns in your absence?
They do not need to be watched 24 hours a day. At evenings and nights, they are fine on their own.
What would someone want with a unicorn horn?
They are magical in nature. Maybe to make some kind of magical object, or use it in some kind of something, or perhaps even to sell it. I'm sure there are people out there that pay.
We're out of game. In like a cage area, or was it just
fenced
more
in.
like
Fenced
just
in
fenced
area?
in? So someone could easily get there.
Theoretically, someone could have.
Area.
Yeah, theoretically, someone could have gotten in the area or been in the area. I'm sorry that I wasn't with them at the time this occurred.
Did you hear any noises from the area?
Like when?
When the winds were taken.
I wasn't there.
All right. You live in premises or not?
Oh no, well, down in the village. We all do. I don't think anybody lives in premise. Not even the steward. I'm surprised he can climb.
Would anyone in town, in particular, be interested in a unicorn horn, like an apothecary or Unicorn Horn Thief Incorporated?
There isn't an apothecary, and not per se. And I don't know of anybody that would be selling anything like this.
Is there anyone in town that you know of not happy with Mr. Fink?
Personally, no. I haven't heard any speak. Most folks are generally happy with him. I mean, sometimes there's bad rumors that go around, or someone else that gets angry that it's some kind of decision he makes, but it goes away eventually.
Has there been anything of late?
Angry words?
Yes.
Not that I particularly know about.
When do you know when this happened? Like what hour of the day? What day exactly?
Not sure what hour of the day, but it was a few weeks ago. I think actually about 2 weeks ago it was. I'd gotten off my shift of work, and I went home, and of course we had a number of us were leaving together, and I like to say goodbye to all the animals I look after, and so my one friend was with me along the way, and both left together, and we met up with a couple of other friends as we were leaving the building too. Most people end the shift right before dinner time, at least in our line of work. But the unicorns, as far as anyone knew, still had horns at that point in time. I mean, there are some folks that leave us after dinner shift, but I don't know exactly who all then.
Do unicorns eat? Do they have any type of special diet?
He'll describe like a couple of different things which seem mostly equestrian.
Okay.
Who all has access to this area?
Actually, most folks do. I mean, not that a lot of people come this way that aren't the normal folks that look after the animals, but really anybody could come here, and sometimes people do too. Maids and butlers and cooks sometimes come here. Some of the creatures have special diets, and the cooks have to deliver things. A maid, if on a small break, may come here and converse with one of us if we're friends. Butlers might have business with us, so anybody can come and go.
Is there a log of the visitors for this area?
No, but usually we notice if someone around that doesn't fit. I mean, he's gonna kind of look. He does like have a fairly distinct uniform. We all have different dress for where we are stationed.
Is there anyone on staff you know of that has magical powers?
Not that I'm aware of. But if we're just working here, we don't usually use anything like that anyway.
Can you think of anything else that you know from him?
Oh,
I'll take that.
sorry, that was directed at me.
Yes, yeah.
I always have to try this one. Silas is a master of words. Looks directly at the Wrangler and goes, if I were you and you were me, what questions would you ask me if I were you and you were me? And he leans in uncomfortably close. Like,
he's gonna kind of like shy away a little bit and kind of like look at you and be like, well, if you're finding out information, he's gonna like think for like a couple of minutes and be like, well, I mean, you could ask if I saw anybody from the other staff the day it happened. I don't know. You were asking about staff entering this area.
Did you?
Actually, yeah. I don't know anything about what was... I only saw one person that day, but that doesn't mean other people didn't enter the area. But, as I see, he'll kind of, like... I think as you saw, nearby to the unicorns is the Chimera pens. I don't look after the Chimera. But, the Chimera Keeper actually had a maid visit him that day. I don't know if it means anything.
Maid?
I don't know. There's a lot of staff. Is
the Chimera Keeper still here?
No, I think he's down in the village right now. Not as many of us are on anyway.
Then who's keeping the Chimera fed?
Oh, he does stop by. The Chimera, you know, it's just that our shifts have usually been smaller. Half a day, and he was this morning for a little while.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sure.
I'll look down. Do we still have Tobin with us?
Yes.
I'll look down at Tobin, and go, did you get all those notes?
He'll be sitting there and he has nothing he's writing on or something. He's like, yeah!
Glare. All right.
I guess back to the steward?
Yeah, I was gonna say let's check in with the steward, and then after that, we'll check in with the Chimera Keeper. Maybe we can get some info on where his house is or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. From the steward, we could get that.
You can go to the steward pretty easily. Hello once again.
How you doing, Stu?
Yes. What is it that you need to ask of me?
Do you know where the Chimera Keeper lives?
I can find it out in the records.
That'd be appreciative. Big smile.
Anything else you need?
Besides the Chimera Keeper, do you know of anyone being in this area during the time that the unicorn still had horns, but then no longer had horns?
I believe for a period of time. On that day, there was a butler and a maid hanging around at the entrance to the garden area.
Yes.
They're the only ones I knew that were near to there.
Which ones?
You can identify two of them. He identified the maid as a Mary, and the butler as a Jonathan.
So, sorry, are they both a Mary and a Jonathan, or are the names a Mary and a Jonathan?
Mary and Jonathan.
They're age Mary and a Jonathan. Mary and Jonathan, yes.
I was just making sure it's not like...
No.
This town, we are all named with A's.
Yes.
Didn't you meet a Samuel at the bar?
I am B. Mary. I am not.
Like, oh no, I've been saying the names wrong this whole time.
You have. You've been very insulting to them.
Mary, there's B. Mary, there's C. Mary. C. Mary.
No juniors.
No juniors. You've been very insulting this entire time, it turns out. Yeah, no.
No, the social faux pas.
Are they still on staff?
Yes, but I believe they're both at home right now, along with most of the maids and butlers.
Could we also get their address?
Fine. Is there anything else that I can help you with?
How late do you normally work?
Very. I'm usually the last one to leave in the evening.
Did you hear any sounds that night?
Personally, no. Though there were others around during that time period, and others working for them. If you really wish to find out more, I'd suggest talking to the head maid, head butler, and the cook.
Are they here now?
Of course. They would not have been left from staff.
Could you point us in their directions? We'll be back for the other information.
Of course. He'll give you directions to where each of them are.
Look back down at Tobin. You get that?
He's just shaking his head. Like, okay, Reginald, if you look when, like, Silas turns away, Tobin's, like, starts shaking his head no afterwards. He's like, yeah, no.
I just pat him on the head.
Tobin the useful.
Tobin is useful, just apparently not at this.
So who should we talk to first? The cook, the butler, or the maid?
I don't know. Tobin's gonna go.
I'm looking right at you.
But Tobin or Silas?
Silas.
Oh.
He froze.
Up. We lost to Silas. Oh no.
Oh no.
It's messed with yours and his pictures.
Hopefully Silas comes back quickly.
Yes. Oh no.
I guess in the meantime, we're gonna go talk to a butler, because everyone loves the butler.
Okay. I'll just leave this picture how it is, really, really funky, that you're across two cameras, and I've disappeared, kind of. So we'll just play with this until we have returned.
I'm more Silas than Reginald right now.
You are more Silas than Reginald right now. It's amazing. You are one with the Silas and the Reginald.
I'm all 3 pictures.
You are all 3 at once. You are all and none. Anyway. Alright, you're heading to... Which one you're heading to? Butler's?
Yeah, we're gonna buttle.
Okay. There's this kind of like middle-aged man, kind of like an elaborate mustache, in very fine like butler's uniform. He's like, "May I help you?"
Oh God. I'm sorry. Yes, we're investigating the missing horns on the unicorns.
What can I help you with that?
Did you hear any sounds that evening?
No, I saw of no sounds.
Well, normally you don't see sounds, you hear them.
So
I heard of no sounds.
Do you know Jonathan that's on your staff?
Of course. He is a fine worker. We have someone returning. Maybe. Possibly.
Yes.
Maybe.
I'm Silas's long-lost brother. Nope, I'm back.
Okay. Hey!
We're butling with a French butler.
He is the French butler.
With a really bad accent.
A very
In
bad
that case, I'll
accent.
be back later.
No, you have to buttle with us now.
I know the Jonathan. He is on the staff. He's a fine worker. A little too fresh with the maids.
Ooh, do tell.
Too friendly with them.
All right. Is Mary one of the ones he's friendly with?
I do not know. I do not keep track of the maids. I keep track of the butlers.
So what does a butler do, per se?
Well, when the master needs some help, we pertain to that, and we ensure that the place... we also ensure certain portions of the place remain clean. We handle the collection. The maids handle the housework.
So are the stories about the master true? Did he really wrestle a dragon?
Arm wrestle, in fact.
Was the dragon in his normal form?
They say yes, he was. But the master has not had such feats of strength in some years.
How
What?
old is the master?
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
Nope, after you.
How old is the master?
No one knows for sure. But my family has been battling for him for 20 generations. And we have been 20 generations of head butlers, and one day we will overthrow that generations of stewards and prove who are truly the greatest family for the master.
I was gonna ask, did an event happen that caused his strength to leave him?
I do not know. But the master has not left the home in many years now. Some say the last time he truly left his home was when my grandfather was head butler. I fear he perhaps was injured in some way and has yet to recover. The master living so long, perhaps he heals at much slower rate. But he is still in his prime, and he retains the safety of the collection, is truly on his head.
Except the horns.
A mystery indeed. There are so many strange mysteries that go on sometimes. But
Like
at least
what
this...
else?
Oh, nothing. It was not a true mystery. It was a fabrication by one of the other butlers. We proved it wrong.
What was the fabrication?
The master had some collection of some strange mystical metals, not refined, ored from the ground. One of the butlers said he saw, look, a number of them were missing, number of the ore pieces. But they were intact and in place, and the master has said nothing about it. Not that I believe he was needed to be bothered with it. But everything looked in order. He must have been mistaken.
Silas will nod, look down, and go, Tobin, did you get that? Thank you, Tobin.
Pat, pat, pat. Well, thank you for the help.
Indeed, monsieur. Now, allow me to return to my work.
I guess we'll go see the head maid.
Alright, the head maid is a very old woman. As, like, the steward seemed old, she seems, like, older. Like, she seems to almost be, like, she appears human, and she looks to be maybe, like, 100 years old. She is
How does she walk up here?
She's still, like, she's, like, crouched over with a cane, you know, like, and you can see her sort of, like, lean against the cane, and one-handed, like, while leaning, like, a piece of cloth, like a sheet on a bed. Fold it with such efficiency, and then put it down, and then, like, another maid nearby her, like, instruct her, like, to put it somewhere, you know, as if, like, you know, and then she's like, and that's how you do it, as she kind of smacks down the cane, as the other maid kind of stands at attention a little bit. Now, back to your rounds. Gentlemen, what can I do for you? The master's guests are always to be helped.
We're looking for information. The master has asked us to look into the unicorn horn theft.
The master always knows when to call on the right person. Perhaps you will be the right people. But perhaps not.
Did you hear anything that night?
No. No, I heard nothing that night. My section is very far from the... As you see, we handle the household matters here. We don't have much chance to head towards the gardens.
What can you tell us about Mary?
Mary? Fine girl, quiet girl. Easily seduced by those butlers, but that's fine. Perhaps she plans on marrying one of them someday. Mary wanting to get married.
There was a rumor that Mary and Jonathan were out by the gardens that day.
I've heard that name. A playboy. Always trying to seduce the girls. Well, if I get a hold of him, she kind of wraps her cane down. He'll get a little bit more than what he bargained for.
Indeed. Also, we heard that there was a rumor that some ore went missing.
I would know nothing about this. If there's some kind of ore or materials, those butlers will know about it. And the squirmy little man who's always looking ambitiously towards his own goals. As she kind of slaps down the cane. Yeah.
So you two don't get along very well, I see.
I get along as fine as my job requires me to, and beyond that, he can keep to himself and his little ambitions. I have a job to do, and I have a job that will get done on time, always.
Understood. Cyrus?
Silas just kind of stares. He's kind of put off by the cane. It's bringing back flashbacks to school.
Mm-hmm. She definitely looks like she could switch you with that thing really well.
Yeah, well, like you notice that he's like hiding his knuckles underneath his like pant.
And you like visibly cringe each time she slams it down.
Exactly.
Well, we won't keep you from your very busy schedule. Have a good day.
Indeed. Silas
exits first. As soon as we're out in the hall, Tobin, did you get that?
Tobin is just going along with the flow, and he's probably knows something he may or may not know. We'll find out.
Should we talk to the cook?
I'm more interested in Jonathan myself. If we can figure out where this guy is.
I wouldn't mind talking to Fink again though, and ask him if he heard about the ore. Maybe there's more going on here than we know.
Let's do that.
Okay, so we're gonna go try to find Fink.
You can probably find him eventually, asking around. He'll be in some kind of library. It seems like he is on the 3rd floor of the library, while down on the 1st floor is your elven friend, Lanor.
April.
And you can see Borin sort of down there. It looks like he's sharpening some kind of weapon in boredom. And, like, inspecting it just to make sure, like, the quality and stuff, too.
I give him a pat on the shoulder as we go past.
He kind of, like, looked to you. Is there something more I could be doing?
Not you. April. Come on, April.
Well, right
Come
now
on,
we're
dog.
talking to people. You can join us for discussion if you rather.
He's gonna kind of, like, look at that, look at you, look at the lady, look at you. I'm good. And go back to sharpening.
Okay, we'll head up to the 3rd floor.
Okay. Fink will be looking in some kind of tome written in a language that neither of you understand. Yes. Hello, welcome again. What can I assist you with right now?
We heard a rumor that we wanted to bring to your attention.
All right.
From the head butler, he mentioned, but he said it wasn't true, that some ore went missing. Some kind of mythical, like, special type of material.
Well, the collection of ores and metals of rare and exotic things, I haven't checked them sometimes. It's also with the gems, gemstones, and a couple other interesting knickknacks within that area. It's hard sometimes to say if anything else has gone missing, but there doesn't seem to be of any note.
I just wanted to make you aware of it in case there is something else going on here. Maybe if there's another type of material missing along with the horns,
I can take a look.
that could be combined in some way.
I might be able to tell if something is truly missing or not. I can look into it for you.
Okay.
Yeah, look around specifically for, like, unicorn shears.
Oh, we didn't have one of those anyway. Not yet.
Ah.
I wonder if one such exists. As then he goes over, he gets up on, like, the ladder and then pushes it as you kind of see him spin around the thing as it's going around, and then he just kind of, like, grabs part of, like, a shelf and stops and pulls out a book and starts looking. You just hear from him.
I'm going to shake my head and go,
We probably lost him for a while.
back to the steward. He's the one who would be able to give us the addresses.
Yes, as I was not here for that. I fell out. So
Yes.
I will follow your lead.
Tobin would be like, well, do we want to talk to that cook or not? I mean, he would suggest it, but...
Good job, Tobin.
Yeah! I remember
Good
that.
notes.
I remember that.
I knew I could trust this guy.
That's all I remembered.
Don't admit that. Never admit that.
What's your name?
Tobin.
You remembered that too.
Hey!
Good fella.
Yeah!
So
I'm
check in with the.
I'm
Do
a
we want to check in
detective.
with the cook before, or do we want to go right to the steward?
We could go to the cook since he's suggesting it, and it was suggested.
Tobin now has some kind of, like, badge, which you're not sure where he got it out. He's like, I'm a detective.
How old are you, Tobin?
Is it a sticker? Is it a sticker badge?
It's a sticker badge. No.
Awesome.
I am. He'll like give an age which you're like that sounds old, but then you realize it's a halfling, and it's like, oh, you're just actually really like young adult for a halfling, and probably have very young children. You know, like the new babe or the 1-year-old halfling child. He is not old for a halfling.
You remind me of the babe. Okay, to the cook.
Okay. The cook will be this kind of, actually fairly young man, working in the kitchen. It seems like there's a small staff with him, but you feel like he's racing around at all times to be working on stuff, as if, like, maybe there's less staff than there should be in here. What? Hello, what? What do you need in my quick kitchen? Please be quick.
We just have a few questions about the unicorn horn theft.
Also, some more of that ice cream.
I don't know anything about that. I'm fine. He'll kind of go to like this like strange iron box with like weird runes engraved in it. Open it up as you see like this like puff of like, you know, almost like smoke come out of it as he pulls something out and like throws it on the table and gets back to cooking. I was here late. I was inside. I was cooking, prepping for the next day's meals.
Have you heard any rumors about what happened that night?
No rumors about that.
Do you know anything about a certain butler named Jonathan and a maid named Mary?
I know nothing at all about butlers and maids.
What about chimera keepers?
The keepers, I rarely have to deal with them. Only occasionally do some of their pets or guests need something special from me. They mostly pick it up, but sometimes I have to send someone over there to deliver it to them.
Was anything delivered 2 weeks ago?
2 weeks ago? I'm sure. No. Maybe 2 weeks ago. If you're talking about the day of the incident, I don't think so that day exactly.
Yes, it would be that day.
I think someone came to pick up stuff. I don't know who. They're all the same.
Do you remember what stuff it might have been?
I think it was some kind of special meal for a dragon or something. It was quite large.
I'll look at Reginald.
He's gonna kind of like
nothing.
He's gonna kind of give this look, and he's gonna kind of like mumble to himself something. You got the perception to see if you hear what he mumbles?
Yeah, I was just about to ask if I could do that.
Yes, you can.
I didn't want to be too invasive.
That's a persuasion check.
Oops. Wrong one. I hear nothing.
Okay.
I'm awesome.
Well, I mean, we could say you had your original 9 that you rolled and have a 12, Joe, since you did roll a 9 originally. A 12 would be here enough to hear something as he mumbles, damn bastards always taking something.
Who took what?
It's probably them. Look, I'm not accusing anything, but I have a number of spices, and it includes devil's spice. It has some other name, but that's the common vernacular for it. I've had to refill that twice in the last few months, and it was something that it always took a while to refill. Now, rumor says that you can use it for other, more recreational uses other than cooking. And in its raw state, it has certain effects. That is why you cook with it. It is dangerous, and they must be taking it for their own perversions.
Who are they?
The keepers. They're the only ones that come in here, other than the cooks, who would know better than to do something so stupid.
What kind of effects does it have in its raw form?
I hear you see things.
Can I get a little?
No.
God.
It's okay. It doesn't hurt. You miss every shot you don't take.
I'm just gonna shake my head at you.
Shrug. Tobin, did you get that? Besides that last part, that's off the record.
Oh, he looked like he actually had a pen out, was writing things. He's like, oh. All right, yeah, sure.
Make sure to mark that last part.
It's just big black line through it, like, nope.
Devil spice, bad. Do not smoke. Ingest, or whatever it is. He's not quite sure.
Lick.
Mm-hmm. It could be like a toad.
Yeah. Maybe it's made from toad. You don't know.
Yeah, we don't know.
Clearly made from devils.
Mm-hmm.
Ground up devil horn.
Yeah.
Or unicorn horn.
That would be Unispice.
That would be Unispice.
That was one of the failed Spice Girls.
Mm-hmm. Was it the Spice Girl that went to the university, so it was Unispice?
Yes. Anyway, I don't think we're getting much more here.
Where would you like to go next, Reginald?
I guess to the steward now to see if we can find the addresses.
You can. And he will have them for you.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess the long trek back to town.
All right, you take the long trek back to town. Are you leaving your other two here?
We'll probably like give him a sit rep on what's going on and where we're going.
I'll also mention maybe look up what devil spice is.
Okay. Anything else?
There is some kind of ore that may be missing. I don't know if that might be something that's being combined with these things.
That does sound like 3 possible ingredients. That might be able to help me. I have learned something interesting that some people use, unicorn horn to make something. Perhaps this is something that our good friend Borin will be able to take care of. Learning how to make something out of it. He is a craftsman of sort. He's kind of like this weird look, and he's like, perhaps one of the people in town will know how to craft things out of horn in general, or animal bone. And maybe you can learn about that, rather than just doing what you're doing now.
Why don't you follow us for a while?
He'll kind of sneer and come with you then.
Good luck in your research.
Yes.
I'm patting her on the back.
She's gonna give you this really bad look, kind of like a scowl, yeah.
And I obliviously smile.
She's like,
yeah,
oh.
each pass, Silas cringes more. Just no.
And then I turn around and start whistling as I walk away.
You would too. Alright, you'll be able to head back to town. It's not a difficult journey back to town, of course. Well, difficult in the way that you're now going downhill rather than uphill. And it is quite a distance anyway. But other than that, it's actually much easier, because it is, of course, downhill. You'll be back to town, and it's probably early evening at this point in time.
Who do you want to talk to first?
I'll defer to you. I'm still suspicious of the Chimera Keeper, but I know that we have some other leads.
I'm going to look at our big friend here and go, why don't you head to the crafting district and see what you can find? And we can meet up with you. I'm sure you're not really wanting to stand around listening to us chit-chat.
No. And he'll just leave.
I like Bourne. Bourne's direct.
Yes. We can start with the Chimera Keeper, and then I want to talk to Jonathan.
Okay.
Away we go.
Alright. Alright, you'll be able to find the Chimera Keeper. He'll probably actually at one of the local taverns rather than at his home right now, but you will be able to find him I mean, you'll have his name, which is unimportant for this point in time in the storyline.
Carl.
Carl. Sure. Carl the Chimera Keeper.
Carl the Chimera Keeper. I'm all about the alliteration.
Yeah. So Carl, you will find Carl, and Carl will be like, probably pretty fairly drunk at this point in time, and kind of look at you like, who are you? What do you want? Why are you bothering me?
We were sent by Fink to look into the horn theft.
I wasn't there. I don't know what you're talking about. I left before What's-His-Face, who was in charge of them.
Have you heard any grumblings, any people unhappy during that time?
I don't know. Probably not. Look,
you don't seem very sure of that answer.
It blends together. I mean...
Do you know anything about Devil's Spice?
What? I don't even know what that is. What do you want from me?
I'm going to place a gold down on the bar, order a round of drinks for the three of us.
Okay.
4. Do we still have Tobin?
Oh, yeah,
You stop Tobin. Yeah, Tobin's like...
We don't need a very sad person next to us.
Yeah, he'd be like, oh.
Hand Tobin down his drink.
He's like, yeah, detective.
Keep notes.
So, hypothetically, where would you sell a unicorn horn?
I know, that's why I just said the horn theft this time.
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure my boss will brought by something like that.
Well, I'm
Your
sure
boss being
someone,
Fink?
Yeah.
I'm sure someone didn't steal them and sell them to him.
Well, I don't know who else would want one of those. I mean, I've lived here all my life.
Did you notice anything strange happening that day?
Maybe not strange. It was a nice day.
Do you know anything about the maid Mary and the butler Jonathan? Not
really, no. I mean, again, it was a nice day for me, but I didn't meet any of them with them. Not a Mary.
Did you notice anyone else from the house visiting that day?
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't remember her name. She said it in passing. She came up to me. We were gonna hang out, get some dinner together, but things broke apart after that. I mean, she had to get busy afterwards, and I think her family needed some help all of a sudden, and so she left, and I didn't get a chance to speak to her again.
You got a description of this lady?
He'll give her like a brief description. Probably like average height, short brown hair. He thinks like her name might have began with a J. I think it was a J.
Well,
she was a pretty one.
Yeah.
She was a pretty one. Yeah. He seems very drunk also.
I was going to say, you've had a lot to drink tonight, haven't you?
Yeah, I'm fine. I can totally walk home. Just yeah, you like tap him a little bit. He like flumps down on the bar, you know.
Carl, I will not miss you. Tobin, you get that?
Tobin's like, huh? Yeah. As you notice that there's a couple of empty glasses near him, and you're not sure where he got those extra glasses.
He's just been having leftovers.
He's like, yeah. I'm a detective.
I think we're done here. Why don't we talk to Jonathan?
All right. You'll be able to find Jonathan at his home.
If we pass our inn at the way, we might want to drop Tobin off, as much as a useful, helpful note keeper he's been.
He will indeed be dropped off and be resting very soundly in his room.
Lightweight.
Mm-hmm. he's like a fourth of your actual weight. Yes, he's a lightweight.
Yeah.
He is quite literally like a quarter of your weight. Or even more.
He's your leg.
Yes.
I've got a hollow leg.
He doesn't. But anyway. No, you will find Jonathan in his house. He will seem like sort of disheveled, like in his clothing, but he will answer the door. What? Hello? What do I need? What? Yeah. He does seem more like in what would be us classified as like street clothes, you know, or basic, you know, more peasant's garb kind of thing.
Yes.
Jonathan, we know what you did.
What?
Good evening. My name is Reginald. We came from Fink. We're been asked to look into the horn theft.
Oh, okay. He looks relieved when you say that. Oh, well,
And what you've been doing with Mary.
Is she married? She's not married, is she?
Not that I know of.
He's gonna kind of like take a look back inside a little bit and be like, she's not married, is she?
Is she here? Because she was our next stop.
Yeah.
We don't.
You might
really
want to
know.
get decent.
Yeah, we will give you a few moments if we could enter and talk for a few.
Okay. The two of them will meet you in a small parlor and look very kind of embarrassed. And you know, Jonathan is like a fairly tall, short black-haired man. Mary's a shorter woman with kind of striking red hair, about shoulder length.
We honestly don't care what you two are doing. You, Jonathan, might want to stay away from the head maid, though. She does not seem to like you much.
He kind of like gives us kind of like a weird kind of sneer look and like, crone.
We're more... Indeed.
Mary will kind of snicker to that, you know, a little bit, you know.
We're more interested in... We heard you two were in the area that day. We just want to see if there's anything unusual that you heard or saw.
I didn't see anything. Normal traffic walking by us. I mean, we were hanging around by the garden entrance, I think, for a good... towards the evening before we left, but most people were leaving during that time.
Good.
So, I'm sure some people stayed on afterwards. We don't know everybody that works in that area.
Yes. See, this was her first.
Have either of you heard anything about someone using devil spice?
They kind of shake their heads. Mary will kind of like put up her finger, but I did see something.
Yes.
Well, when a little while before we left, well, a little while after we started hanging out there, I didn't see her leave, but
She enjoyed herself.
Jennifer went out towards the garden.
Good.
She's another maid. I assume she had a boyfriend out there too.
Did you see her talking to the Chimera Keeper, Carl?
So they like kind of look at each other, shake their head. I didn't see where she went. We didn't go into the garden area, and where the animals are kept. We were only at the entrance. It's a nice place to. It's got nice sun and a nice view of like the kept gardens before you get to where those animals are, and well,
Nice place for romance.
Yes.
she kind of blushes a little bit, you know.
Right.
Jonathan, you may have heard of this. Did you hear rumor of some precious ore going missing?
I did, but the head butler dismissed it. He said it looked fine when everything looked there. I don't know. I don't usually work in that section. I'm usually dealing with the making sure that the area around the magical items are clean.
Have either of you heard of any rumors of anyone being disgruntled recently?
Well, Mary's going to be like, well, I don't know if anybody's necessarily disgruntled, but, I mean, Jennifer always did seem angry and kept to herself, but I don't know if that's disgruntled. She's the only one I know that would be acting like that. So I was happy when I thought she had a boyfriend. I mean, that might mean she would cheer up a little bit.
Have you seen her late? Oh, sorry.
I was gonna say, any details on his boyfriend?
I don't know. I was just guessing. Why else would you go out to the garden that time of day?
That's good for her.
Good, Reginald.
See your old friends.
Have you seen her recently?
I don't think so. She's a junior maid, and the junior maids haven't been called in as much. I think I saw her a couple of days ago when they were called in, but they've mostly been on standby.
Understood. Well, unless you have anything else.
Do you know where Jennifer would be right now? I'm not sure if I missed that information or not.
I'm sorry, I don't know where she lives.
I'll look at Jonathan and be like, Jonathan?
Do you know where she may live?
He's just going to shrug his shoulders and stuff.
Am I picking up anything off my insight because Jonathan's a playboy that he might know where she lives?
Go ahead and roll insight then.
Click.
He seems truthful. He doesn't seem to know. Either he A, doesn't actually know a Jennifer, or B, might not even remember her name.
Alright. Thank you all for your time. I'm glad that I wasted a crit on that.
Enjoy yourself.
You didn't waste a crit.
I just know the absolute truth that he knows.
Yes. You just, like, saw into his mind and knew he's kind of a douche.
I'll just kind of give a big smile and go, enjoy yourselves.
And Mary will blush and he'll be like, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll grab a sock on the way out and put it on the door.
All right. Where are you off to now?
Well,
As much as I'd hate to hike those stairs again, I think our best bet is the steward.
we wanted to
Actually, do you think that Samuel would know that?
Samuel might know some information.
I mean, he was on the way, and it's a
Yeah.
close
True.
trip.
Okay.
And we might also want to check in with our other friend.
With Tobin the Light,
No, well, Tobin too, but also
Oren.
Oren. Thank you.
You will get to the Golden Fink, and you'll see Tobin conversing with Samuel. He seems awake and less drunk. Still seems a little, like, off, but is at least, like, having a really interesting conversation with him.
I'm gonna walk up and tussle Tobin's hair.
He kind of gives you, like, a kind of, the sort of like a hey.
Feeling better?
Yeah. Yeah, feeling
Cringe.
better.
Samuel, I had a question for you.
Sure.
What do you know about Jennifer that's a junior maid?
Junior maid Jennifer. I don't think she comes in here. The name isn't necessarily familiar. I can ask around. Well, I am working. You know what? If you want to, I know of a couple people that can be asked around. If you folks want to, I can send you all to them. I don't know how busy you are. One of them might know.
Would be appreciative.
I mean, Tobin will go like, well, did you have anyone else you wanted to talk to? I might be able to do that for you guys.
Sure, we're gonna have to go meet with Boren.
Well,
So you'll find out.
Yeah, I can do that then. Yeah, I'll go ask around.
Thank you.
Sure.
Don't forget to take notes.
Yeah.
I'm saying on the other, I'm going, Jack, are you there? Jack, are you there?
He'll like look at the back of his hand and like look. He's got like notes written on them or something. He's like looking for space on there, you know, or something.
Try the other one.
It's just really bad. Right?
He's like looking at it close. He's like the.
I'll take a few bar napkins and just give it to him.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
All right.
I guess back going to the cobbler district or builder's district.
You can find a place that looks to be a craftsman. It's got a little bit of smith work seemingly done there. You will find, of course, Boren there, basically talking to the man occasionally, and basically much observing. As he kind of sees you, he'll be like,
Have you found out anything?
yeah. Yeah, I have.
What?
Things like that can be made into a lot of different stuff. My friend here says he's heard of bones being made in things like wands and staffs. He also says maybe a weapon of some kind sometimes.
What about being combined with other material?
He's gonna kind of like look to his friend, like I guess the smith, a little bit, kind of look back towards you and be like, "Well, if it's being crafted into something, maybe. I don't know much about that magical portion of things."
I'll look at the smith and I'll ask, do you know of anyone that would be able to make an item out of that material?
He's going to shake his head. I have learned some things, but not the magical aspect that would be connected to this.
Do you know of anyone in, do you know of anyone in town who may?
No, but, well, I didn't learn anything quite like that, and I haven't heard of anybody. I wouldn't think anybody... I mean, doesn't there seem to be more than one aspect to this, if you were crafting something?
Well, there was... Oh, I'm sorry. There was some other materials that went missing up there. Some rare ore, I believe it was, like, out of like player knowledge. I don't remember what it was.
He didn't actually mention.
Find out.
Yeah, you didn't actually find out. He'll kind of go like, I mean, a special ore I could probably work with, but I haven't had any material like that come my way. Nor
something called devil's spice.
I know nothing of that. Unfortunately, I don't think there's anybody else in town that can probably work with that. Well, maybe that's not true, but no, he wouldn't know.
Who?
My apprentice. He's been learning things from me, but I haven't seen him in a few days. I haven't heard.
Is he hanging out with his girlfriend?
I don't think he has a girlfriend.
What's his name?
His name is Arnis.
Do you know where Arnis lives?
Well, with his father, usually.
Could you give us directions?
Sure. His father is the steward.
Oh,
He's the second son, so he needed to find a job, and the steward asked me to teach him smithing. I never had a family, so...
someone to keep the business running.
I felt like it was fine. Family's a fine name, and I've given the boy a benefit of a doubt, but maybe I shouldn't have. Maybe he does have a girlfriend.
Well,
Silas will just give Reginald like a very knowing look, like,
I kind of smile at you. You can't really tell, though, if I really got it or if I'm just giving you my nonchalant smile that I give everyone.
Silas interprets that we're on the same page.
Well, thank you for the information.
Sure.
Born, do you wish to stay or do you wish to come with us?
You kind of take like a look at you guys. Look at him. Look at you guys. I'll be here.
I nod.
Thanks, Born. Make sure to take notes.
He kind of like shake his head.
So, we need to find out where the steward's house is.
Doesn't the steward reside in... No, he doesn't. Never mind.
No, everyone
shut up.
resides outside the house. Even old cranky maid woman, who we don't know how the hell she does it. I'm guessing by pure hatred of life.
That may be accurate.
So... So we need to just trying to like put our stuff in a little inventory. Our two leads right now seems like Stuart's son and this Jennifer person, both of which are not inside the keep or the manor.
If Jennifer was flirting with the Chimera guy, he might have not been forthcoming about the devil spice. Maybe she got that from him. She works there. Maybe she was also part of the horn theft. And what was it? Axis or Anaxis?
Arnis?
Arnis. Arnis seems to know about smithing and maybe other things.
Gotcha. But so far, no character has given us knowledge of where these two are.
No.
Arnis hasn't showed up to the smith shop in a few days, and the maid's been, since she's a low-level maid, has been on call but not needed.
Gotcha. So, just to confirm, Arnis doesn't have like an employment record for this guy?
Probably not. Not like we think about.
No W-9s or anything like that?
No, probably not.
Well, Arnis is the name of the kid, too.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry.
But, well, we could try to see if we can find our short fellow and see what information he's been able to get on Jennifer.
Sure.
Tobin, the fantasy version of
yes.
Tobin, you'll be able to wait back in the Golden Fink, and Tobin will eventually return and be like, Guys, I found stuff out for you.
What'd you find out?
I think I know where this Jennifer character lives.
Yes, absolutely.
We'll follow you.
All right. Okay. He's gonna like act all big, and he's like, I totally know my way around this city, and I just don't have an address, kind of thing.
You need to. Do we need to inquire with the bartender where this might be?
No. I can handle this. I can handle this.
Thank you, Tobin.
I trust Tobin. And Tobin I trust.
Apparently Tobin can actually handle this. He will be able to get to a small building 3 floors, and each floor is basically a different person's home. The second floor seems to be this Jennifer character's.
Okay, I take it there's like, is there stairs on the outside to her section, or do we have to go inside and then up?
You can go inside and up. It would be.
Okay.
There's like a central hallway. Probably front door that's always unlocked, and then inner doors that are locked to people. You know.
Okay.
Gotcha. So kind of like a group living situation.
Yeah.
Like fantasy apartment.
Fantasy apartment. Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Fantasy apartment.
That sounds like the weirdest show.
While we're making our way through the apartment, since I'm getting a little suspicious, can I throw like a perception check out there just to see if I hear anything suspicious?
Sure.
Well, bam.
You don't really seem to hear anything.
That's the exact same perception score I got last time too.
Yeah, it
It
is.
doesn't have any cinnamon in it, does it?
Like I said,
Like,
Silas the unfortunate.
Silas,
I'm going
unfortunate.
to her up towards her door and then make a perception check.
Sure.
We are nailing this.
777.
Okay. No, none of you can really hear anything.
Tobin, do you hear anything?
Watch him get another 20. I'm calling it. He's magic.
So that's it. The pie is cooked.
It's either that or a 7.
Yeah. So you can be on front of the door to what her apartment would be, or her fantasy apartment would be, and neither of you seem to hear anything. It seems quiet. There's no response to your knocking.
Give the handle a check.
It seems locked.
All right. Silas will put his hand in a breast pocket and pull out a wonderful little harmonica.
Mm-hmm.
And he'll just give like a little kind of how like a I guess it's called like a tune whistle or whatever that is called. Just give one note. I'm gonna cast knock on the door.
Okay. Clunk. The door will unlock. Chunk.
A motion to Reginald.
Right. Inside is a pretty simple room on first glance. Like just an average bed that you would have as like someone probably, if not like the lowest peasant status, but still pretty low. A simple closet, a small desk. That's it. The thing that's most noticeable is this strange like scorch mark in the middle of the room. As if something like burned there, or maybe something was spilled there.
Investigation or
Sure.
Arcana?
Um,
I'm negative intelligence. They're both the same to me.
roll them each separately. Give me a roll for each of those.
I'll investigate. I'm neutral with it.
Okay. Okay. You guys are like...
Nailing this.
It looks
I rub
like...
my finger on the floor and go,
Tastes like burning?
ash. I kind of look up at you and smile. Ash.
Yes.
I'm gonna go back and shut the door to make sure that no one can see us, and then I'm gonna start rifling through everything. Specifically the desk.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I'll check under the bed then.
Okay. Under the bed seems to be completely clear. There seems to be, in the desk you will find 2 things of note. What appears to be a small journal, and a card, which seems to be like a piece of paper, like, that seems to be like a receipt for something that you make out. It seems to be for the, Fink's Craft and Ironwork, the place where, Boren was at.
And Artis works.
Yes, the place where Arnis works.
There's a connection.
There is a
I
connection.
obviously share this with Reginald.
Mm-hmm.
There's a connection.
Start flipping through the journal.
Roll me an investigation check. We'll see how well you interpret this.
Does the bed look like... I'm going to investigate the
Okay.
bed. It looks like it was...
You actually interpret. The bed looks like it hasn't been... Intimidation check on the bed. Bed.
The bed looks at you and goes, "I've been trained."
-2 from that. That's my...
Intimidation is a straight roll. 10. Investigation 10. Okay, yeah. The bed looks like it's been used, but you're not sure how recently. Silas, you look through this book, and you'll actually be able to interpret some of the information you read in here. It seems like this girl, Jennifer, really didn't seem to particularly like Fink. She didn't really have a reason for it. She just didn't like him. Period. She didn't like that she had to work for him. You know, it's apparently because, like, she was born here kind of thing, family here. She really didn't have much of a choice. She didn't have the money to leave kind of thing, so it's sort of like stuck in life, doesn't like her job, and it keeps going. And then she talks about this friend she made. A friend who found her and basically made her feel a lot happier. And she's talking about how this friend, you know, is letting her know all this cool information, things that she never knew about. And then she's talking about that a friend wants a favor from her. But she's not sure she should do this favor. But she's like, you know, a sort of like, one mention will be like, that'll teach that rotten Fink. And then she does mention that she did find another person that could help her out towards the end of it in doing the favor for her friend. Like the last entry will be like, hopefully everything will go well.
Was there anything else of note besides the bed and the desk and the ash in this room?
Not in particular. She has a lot of simple clothes in her like dresser. Maybe a few small pieces of jewelry that don't seem very expensive.
Doesn't look like she packed or left then.
No.
So she could be coming back.
She could be.
Good.
Or she could be with her friend.
Yep.
What's this thing called, Buck? You want ice too?
But which friend? The friend that could help her out, or the friend that's convincing her to do something?
We don't have a location of either.
We need to find where Arnis is. I'm assuming the friend who could help her out was Carl.
It's possible, or Arnis could be that friend. Either way, Arnis is definitely our next lead. Yeah, I'm trying to think of how we can either get to the steward. I mean, I guess Samuel is kind of like one of our leads in town.
Yeah, he might know where the steward lives. I mean, I'm sure since he's an important guy, he might...
Or possibly, maybe Fink would know where the steward lives.
Fink would definitely know where the steward lives. Well...
But
it's hard to tell.
Fink or the steward would mean going back to...
Hike Mountain, and I don't like stairs.
Well, it's kind of late now, so the steward may have already left. You're not exactly sure when he leaves. I mean, it is like probably after evening, you know, by now.
Yeah.
So, but yes, you can go to Samuel's place very easily. He's still there. You're not quite sure how late he stays up anyway.
Yeah, this guy's up forever.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
A drink?
No, we're looking for the steward's house.
Oh, yes. Oh, you need to see the stewards? All right. He'll give you directions where to find him.
All right. And do you know of his son, Arnis?
Arnis.
His second son.
Oh. Yeah, Arnis, yeah. Yeah, he's a good kid. He had some trouble in his past, but he's cleaned himself up. So I've heard.
Do you know where he's usually at?
I think he's been working at the blacksmith, apprenticing there. most of the time there. Drinks a couple of times. Stop by here a few, but doesn't very often.
Understood. Samuel, you the man.
Thank you. I guess to the steward's house we go.
Why don't we take our second break here before we resolve things with the steward, because we are going a little late past that time. And
Yes,
then we
that's
can pop back in and figure out perhaps where to find Arnis, and maybe even Jennifer with that.
That
If
should
they
be
are
Ash.
together.
Reginald tasted that.
Reginald tasted some fresh people. People, Ash. All
Little
right.
did people know I'm actually a cannibal.
Okay.
All right, LaBeouf.
All right, everyone. We'll be back in like 5 minutes. Grab a drink, use the bathroom, all that stuff, and we'll return for the final 45 minutes or so of Fink's Fantastic Collection. Be right back, folks.